You're listening to Sip and Grow the podcast, the show where we taste awesome, delicious wines while having unfiltered conversations about our passions, experiences, struggles, entrepreneurship, and life. My name is Nicole Di Pasquale, and I'm a wine enthusiast just trying to pursue her passions and dreams while taking you on the journey with me, one episode at a time. My ultimate goal is to not only bring you wine knowledge and value, but also inspire you to enjoy your process and journey in pursuing your passions and dreams. Because guess what? The person you become while enduring the process is more important. So sit back, grab a glass, and let's sip and grow together. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sip and Grow the podcast with me, your host, Nicole Di Pasquale. So today I'm actually stoked to bring on this wine. So I would say like 2 months ago, I got a DM on Instagram from this winery, well, specifically the winemaker, Junio Vargas Ojeda. Shout out to Junio for sending me his wine. So he just launched his wine brand in 2025, and he reached out to me kind of, asking me if I would be willing to review his wine on here. And first of all, I just want to say that, thank you so much, Junio, for sending me this wine. The label and everything looks amazing, and just hearing your story is very inspiring, and I feel honored to be reviewing your wine. And I think what you're doing is super cool. And you took the step that many people don't take, which you took the step of faith and courage to create something of your own. So congrats to you for doing that. I think that's amazing and inspiring, and I hope that your story can inspire others to do the thing that they're scared of doing. So when he reached out to me, he kind of told me a little bit about Santo Diablo. So this is this producer winery is called Santo Diablo. It launched in 2025, and this vintage is a 2023 vintage. It's a red blend. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk about a little bit about Santo Diablo and what Junio told me about his wine brand. So I'm going to actually read it out loud because I think the concept behind the brand is really, really cool. And I love that it's very personal to him, because I feel like anything we do should be a representation of who we are, because we should be proud of who we are and where we came from. And I feel like that is portrayed in this specific brand. So Junio sent me a little bit of a background on what Santo Diablo means, right? So for him, Santo Diablo holds significant meaning because it's inspired by a saying from his grandma that says, "Ni tanto que queme al santo, ni tanto que no lo alumbre." In English, this means don't be so harsh that people shy away from you, nor so kind that you become vulnerable to exploitation. Seek a balanced approach. This philosophy informs both our winemaking, in our wines, and in life. And then he says, this phrase highlights the importance of balance and finding a middle ground. Rather than leaning towards extremes, it applies to many aspects of everyday life. Ultimately, Santo Diablo represents those who recognize that life is not just black and white. It's a mix of sweet, dry, and sour moments, much like wine. I thought that was beautiful, and I was asking him a couple of questions, and he told me that he's been in the wine industry, specifically in the wine production side of the industry, for about 15 years. And he learned a lot from his dad and his brother. So his parents migrated to the US in the 70s with hope, and provided him and his brothers with everything, basically. And his brother and his dad worked in the vineyards, so he grew up around that and learned a lot from his dad. And his dad would come home and explain to him a little bit about everything. And his dad's favorite grape was Pinot Noir. Shout out to your dad for that. Pinot Noir is a very, very particular grape, and anyone who truly knows the amount of work that goes into handling that grape and producing that grape knows that like when you do it right, it's a phenomenal wine. I mean, the French know. Uh, but anyways, so he told me that he learned a lot from his dad and his brother, and unfortunately his dad and brother passed away. But this brand, he took the leap of faith and courage to create this brand. And in a way, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Junio, but I feel like this is not only a representation of like who you are and your background and your culture, but also like you're paying homage to your brother and your dad because it also represents them in a way. And I think that it's really special to, like I said, create something of your own and put it out there. It's scary, it's intimidating, but I think when you do it, others that, you know, look up to you or feel like you are a representation of them will be inspired to take that leap of faith forward as well. So I applaud you for that, and I am very excited to try your wine. So this blend specifically, I wrote it down because it's a lot of grapes. It's a blend of 42% Syrah, 36% Cabernet Sauvignon, 10% Grenache, 10% Mourvèdre, and then 2% Cinsaut. So this is from, he sources the grapes from Paso Robles. Paso Robles is an area in California, in San Luis Obispo County, which is like, Paso Robles would be like the northern part of that county. It's in between Los Angeles and San Francisco. I'm excited to try this wine because I think, for me, at least for me, Paso Robles wines, I really like blends that come out of there. There are some good, I'm not gonna lie, there's some good cabs that come out of there as well. But I feel like the Paso Robles wines that I've really enjoyed have all been blends. So that's why I'm like super excited to try this wine. Also, I think based off of the grapes and everything, I feel like this would go really well with my family's asado, which is our barbecue. So I'm actually gonna use this today because I don't wanna like waste this bottle of wine. I'm gonna take it to our family asado next weekend. So I wanted to just try it today, and then I'll take it to the family to try, and we'll have it with our little barbecue. But let's go ahead and try this wine. Actually, I should be smart and do it on here just in case it spills. So he told me they are, this is unfiltered and minimal intervention. So I love that because he basically just lets wine do its thing. And it's my cup of tea when it comes to producing wine. Just letting it be as natural as possible. And you just kind of guide the grapes to do its thing during fermentation, essentially. But he told me that it is aged 10 months in 20% new French oak. So yeah, let's go ahead and try this bad boy. Also, the packaging, I love it. He produced about 100 cases of this, so it's very limited production. You can buy it. I'll link his Instagram in the show notes. But for right now, he's not in any retail shops, but he is in restaurants in California and is working on expanding his distribution and working on his website as well, where you can purchase it directly from the website. But for right now, if you want to buy a bottle, you can directly DM him and he'll send you the bottles. It costs about $45 a bottle. So we're going to go ahead and try it out. So immediately looking at it, it has a deep plum, purpley, ruby red color, I would say. Ooh, that nose, I mean, you can definitely tell it's mostly Syrah because it smells like it. It's like very red berry forward with hints of like spiciness to it, like pepper. Like I get like red peppers, even like a hint of vanilla and like a bay leaf almost. So I really like the nose. It's very nice and perfumey on the nose, which I love. Let's go ahead and try it. Oh wow. This is not what I was expecting. This is actually really good. So, not that I was expecting it to be bad. I wasn't expecting that, but it's very berry forward, but it has a really nice, like, I think it's because there's not as much like Cabernet. I mean, there's a lot of Cabernet in it, but there's not like, there's tannins are present, but they're not aggressive in your face, and it's like well balanced and well structured. So I'm getting like hints of like goji berry almost, raspberry. But then there's like a sweetness to it, but it's not like sweet, but there's like almost like a sweet component to it because it's well balanced with the acidity and the tannins. So it harmonizes really nicely, and it kind of mid palate is where you get the tannins, but then the finish is very smooth, but it's a full bodied wine. So like this would go excellent with an asado for sure, and it's very easy to drink. It kind of almost reminds me of like a Tuscan red blend, but it doesn't have as harsh or intense tannins as like a Tuscan red blend would have, if that makes sense. Overall, for a Paso Robles blend, this is phenomenal. I am gonna rate this. Yeah, I'm gonna rate this a 9.2 out of 10. I really like this. This is delicious. Junio, you did your thing. You did your thing. I really enjoyed this. I can't wait to try your other wines that you come up with. So he did tell me there's another batch of wines or bottles coming out now. It's gonna be another set of 100 cases. It's gonna be a different blend, I believe, is what I understood. But yeah, guys, check out Santo Diablo. I think this is a phenomenal red blend. I'm excited to see where you guys go and where you guys are in 4 or 5 years from now, Junio. I think you have so much potential, and like, I'm really excited for you. Thank you once again for sending this over. Like I said, feel honored to rate this, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that you thought of me and reached out to me to try this. So cheers to that, and guys, try it out. Let me know what you think. Send me a DM if you try this wine, or if you are interested in getting it, I can send you to their Instagram page so that you can buy a bottle and check it out. Cheers. I'll see you on the next one.